Everything I can in future to help this great country succeed. Thank you very much.
The margin of victory for the Out campaign, just over 1 million, 52% of the total vote.
There is simply no need in the 21st century to be part of a federal system of government based in Brussels that is imitated nowhere else on earth. It was a noble idea for its time. It is no longer right.
Fallout at Labour too, as senior MPs submit a motion of no confidence in Jeremy Corbyn. In Scotland, the First Minister Nicola Sturgeon says she will push for a new vote on Scottish independence.
It is a significant and material change in circumstances, and it is therefore a statement of the obvious that the option of a second referendum must be on the table.
And the markets take an early hit, but the FTSE closes above where it started the week.
I vote on independence.
Very good afternoon. 5 o'clock here in Westminster. This is a Sky News special as the UK votes to leave the European Union, prompting the Prime Minister David Cameron to announce his intention to resign. He met the Queen at Buckingham Palace early this morning to explain his decision, while Boris Johnson paid tribute to the Prime Minister as the race to succeed him begins. This, the final result of the EU referendum. Nearly 17.5 million people voted to leave. That's around 52%. Just over 60 million people voted to remain, around 48%. So the Leave camp won it by a margin of more than 1 million votes. Shortly after the final declarations were announced, the Prime Minister stepped out of number 10 to make an announcement of his own.
Good morning, everyone. The country has just taken part in a giant democratic exercise, perhaps the biggest in our history. Over 33 million people from England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland and Gibraltar have all had their say. We should be proud of the fact that in these islands we trust the people with these big decisions. We not only have a parliamentary democracy, but on questions about the arrangements for how we're governed, there are times when it is right to ask the people themselves, and that is what we have done. The British people have voted to leave the European Union, and their will must be respected. I want to thank everyone who took part in the campaign on my side of the argument, including all those who put aside party differences to speak in what they believed was the national interest. I fought this campaign in the only way I know how, which is to say directly and passionately what I think and feel, head, heart and soul. I held nothing back. I was absolutely clear about my belief that Britain is stronger, safer and better off inside the European Union. And I made clear the referendum was about this and this alone, not the future of any single politician, including myself. But the British people have made a very clear decision to take a different path. And as such, I think the country requires fresh leadership to take it in this direction. I will do everything I can as Prime Minister to steady the ship over the coming weeks and months. But I do not think it would be right for me to try to be the captain that steers our country to its next destination. This is not a decision I've taken lightly, but I do believe it's in the national interest to have a period of stability and then the new leadership required. There is no need for a precise timetable today, but in my view, we should aim to have a new Prime Minister in place by the start of the Conservative Party conference in October. Now the decision has been made to leave, we need to find the best way. And I will do everything I can to help. I love this country, and I feel honoured to have served it. And I will do everything I can in future to help this great country succeed. Thank you very much.
Real contrast of emotions as the UKIP leader Nigel Farage led jubilant celebrations with Leave campaigners here in Westminster earlier. He's called for this day to go down in history and be commemorated with a bank holiday.
It's a victory for ordinary people, decent people. It's a victory against the big merchant banks, against the big businesses, and against big politics. And I'm proud of everybody that had the courage, in the face of all the threats, everything they were told, they had the guts to stand up and do the right thing. And the other thing I think that needs to happen is that June the 23rd needs to become a national bank holiday, and we will call it Independence Day.